Hey, how are we all today? Just thought we'd go for a little wander and see if any big cacti came down in last night's storm. Prickles and Oreo are with me, so just going to go for a little cruise around. As we're cruising around, feel free to drop comments in below and I'll answer any questions. Oh, there goes the rabbit. And here comes Oreo. I've just got this little like DJI Osmo thing that I've got my phone in, so if the video is not very good, you'll know why. I'm still getting used to the controls. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Drop any comments in below and I'll happily answer any questions as you go. Shams Sirian from Latakia, thanks for tuning in. We'll see if there's any big cacti that have fallen down out here. This is Oreo in front of me. Prickles is around somewhere. Oh, hi Thailand. Thanks so much for tuning in. Yeah, we've had some really strong winds yesterday, so there are a few plants that have potentially fallen down, so we just thought we'd just go for a little wander together and see if we can find any. Hopefully not, but you never know. Good morning from the Baltic states, Latvia. I've been to Latvia actually, it's beautiful. New Caledonia, thanks for tuning in. Hey mate, how are ya? Cactus Gardens, thanks for tuning in. Can hear the crows in the background. Hey Kay, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, if you've got any questions, just chuck them in the comments and I'm happy to answer as we go around. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. Really appreciate it. And yeah, just drop any comments in below if you'd like to ask any questions. The dogs are just loving it out here. Hey Niels DC, thanks for tuning in, mate. Hey Joanne, thanks. Yeah, we did have some big storms a little while back. We lost some hothouse covers, but this storm wasn't too bad. And we've also gotten a bit smarter about how we put our covers on now, so I think we shouldn't have as many problems in the future. Paulie, if you have cacti that is not getting sun, winter sun pattern, is it better to move them into the sun periodically, or will they survive until they get sun again in summer? Yeah, good question. So if say you had them undercover in the winter and then in the summer they started getting lots of light, they might burn. So you might want to keep that in mind. I would say just slowly introduce it back to the sun in the summer if you can. And you might just have to put it out for short amounts of time until it gets sort of adjusted back to that higher light again. Hey, thanks for the question as well. So we've got a question here. I've never seen a real cactus like this before. Did you buy this yourself? So my dad, Jim, he started this garden back in 1986, but he bought a large collection from Ed Cromer, and he'd been traveling the world during the 50s and 60s collecting cacti. And so when Dad bought that collection, he started with a 1/4 acre, and it's sort of just grown from there. Oh, the sun is lovely today. When will your new section be completed? Just headed out there now because it's a bit sandier out here. So typically until the plants get well established, this is where they're more likely to be some fallen over plants. So just go for a little wander and see what's fallen over today. The new section should be ready probably, well, it's hard to say, but maybe in a few months' time. There's our big lookout dome. What's the rarest cactus? Actually, where we're headed next, there's some rarer plants, so we'll have a look out there. Hey, what do you reckon, Prickles? So Ricky Ryan, what's the rarest cactus you've got? You can see how much rain we had. So this is part of the new section that's not quite opened yet. So this is our new Trico cereus trail. And out here we've got some, you know, somewhat rare stuff. I mean, not massively rare, but stuff like this is interesting. I'm still getting used to this camera. I'll go for a little wander down here. As you can see, this one fell over. Most of the big ones are still up though, so that's good. And here's one that Dad's just recently stood back up. Check out, these have just grown so quick. And you can see up there we've got this one tied to a star picket just to hold it up until it gets a bit better established, but it's about 2.5 meters tall already. So these have really taken off out here in this fresh new soil. This is sort of from the top of the valley. And that's the main garden on the other side of the amphitheatre. Hey Leanne Ward, thanks for tuning in. Yes, the dogs are loving it out here. Oh wow, 200 stars, who did that? Thank you so much whoever donated, really appreciate it. There's another big one down here. This is Big Red. Aptly named for its beautiful red spines. It's gorgeous. That'll be a hard one to stand back up. Here's another somewhat rare one. It does this interesting thing where it terminates, pinches off and starts again. There's another one down. Yeah, and you can see Dad started putting rocks out here, so you can start finishing these beds off and open this part of the garden up. Some really interesting new plants out here that are just starting to get established. They've mostly fallen down just due to the weather. Lots of rain, lots of wind. Not ideal for cacti that don't have big root zones yet and they're still establishing. Big Peru there. And then this is right out the back now. We won't go too much further because the plants out here are really haven't quite established yet. Who washes the dogs? A friend of mine does wash them every fortnight or so, but yeah, it only takes them a day on the farm and they're dirty again, so don't know whether it's really worthwhile anymore. Anyone tuning in from Australia today that's in lockdown? How's everyone coping with this lockdown this time? We might head back through Africa and have a look at some of the flowers that are out. We haven't had any really severe frost this winter, so we've still got lots of flowers. Oh, Bonnie Lee, sorry. Yes, lockdown does suck. Hopefully can provide you guys with a little bit of escape watching these dogs run around cactus country. Yakandanda, hopefully it'll be over soon. Yeah, same. Central Coast. Thanks for tuning in from Texas, Leanne. Thanks, Wayne. Thanks for tuning in, mate. How do we stand up the fallen cacti? So basically with ropes and straps and big heavy equipment. So we've got some excavators and bobcats for the big ones, and then for the little ones we'll just get some shade cloth or something underneath them and stand them up. This is a beautiful big clump of euphorbia resinifera. It must be 1.5 meters wide at least. It's one of my favourites. See what Dad's up to. He's evidently been digging holes today and found 2 pipes. And by found I mean broke. Oh, Melissa, yeah, cacti do cope in colder climates, depends on what you've got available to you. But yeah, some of our cacti would handle frost and even snow. Some beautiful big red hot poker. The yellow flowers are just gorgeous. How many varieties do you have there? We've got over 4,000 species, but mind you, we haven't really counted them either. It'd be a big job. Gorgeous flowers. How old is the oldest plant? Oh, the oldest ones would be 60 plus years old. So they've done the majority of their growing here in this garden. However, some of them came to us fairly old in pots already. So look, if you wanted a garden this size in this climate, you're looking at about 30 years of growth from small plants. And then some of our new hybrids are growing quite fast as well. So they're pretty interesting. All right, here's the debate. This tree, this palm tree, with the dead leaves on it, or take the dead leaves off? What are your thoughts? Hey Mel Paget, how are you? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, well, if you're only in Yarraween, mate, you got to come and check it out. So we'll head down here, see a couple of the big Pringlei and the saguaro. These plants grow to maybe 15 meters tall, so they've still got a little bit of growth to go. Off. Everyone says off. Okay, I've lost that debate. I'll let my girlfriend know. So this is the big Pachycereus Pringlei. So nobody thinks it looks natural. Shit, she's gonna laugh her ass off if she sees this video. So that's our big Pachycereus Pringlei, and it flowered and produced seed for the first time this year. So we're pretty excited to see what the seedlings do. Everyone says take them off. That is hilarious. And then this big guy here, this is our big saguaro. This is Carnegie gigantea. What do you reckon? Just started to get its first arm. You can see the first arm right up the top, that bump. So we can't wait for that to develop. Alrighty guys, is there anything else that you want to see before I tune out? The old gigantea, it would be, yeah, roughly 30 years of growth there. But he could be 60 years old, just based on that he would have been planted fairly old already. And yeah, he's done the majority of his growing here, but I'd say he would have been 10 to 20 years at least before he came to this garden. Hey Lockie, thanks for tuning in, mate. How are things? Are you still in Melbourne, or where are you these days? Hope you're well. Look at this big guy leaning out. It's quite a cool little passage here, I reckon, with these two. Hey Melissa, the majority of our plants we've already collected back in the 80s, and then every now and then when people are selling their collections we get the call, would you like to buy our collection? And most of the time, if they're decent collections, we can work something out and collect them, and that's how we've grown it over the years really, just purchasing other collections that have already been in Australia. And yeah, I mean, we were just super lucky, I guess, that Dad was able to purchase the big collection back in the 80s. and that really kicks things off. Do we have any Lophophora? Yeah, we do have some lofts. Just trying to think whether we've got any in the garden. I think they might all be down in hothouses. Will they flower? Yeah, all cacti do flower. That's how they propagate. So they need to flower in order to be pollinated, and then seed grows. And then in terms of propagating bigger plants, you can get a cutting. Usually, if you can get a big enough cutting, you can get it to grow again. And in here, we've just been doing some renos. That's the bar. It's all starting to come along. Well guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you have a great day. And yeah, we'll catch you again soon. Tune out with this beautiful artwork by Tan. See you guys.